So, you want to be a real estate investor, but where do you start? How do you know what information and sources to trust? That's where I come in. I'm Jonny Cattani, and this is the Investor Relations Real Estate Podcast. Hey guys, real quick, before we start, go to investwithcattani.com and download my free ebook, Is Commercial Real Estate Recession Proof? Now to today's show.
What's up, guys? TGIF. Welcome to another episode of Friday Follow-Up here on the Investor Relations Real Estate Podcast. I'm your gracious host, Jonny Cattani, and happy Independence Day, everyone. It is Friday, July 1st. I'm sure a lot of you have big plans. You're probably like me, love the 4th of July. Probably my favorite holiday for a lot of reasons. I mean, it's summertime, right? So you get gorgeous weather. Everybody has a day off. Everybody's out doing stuff. There's just something about it, you know, the energy of the people you're around, you know, it almost feels like the one day where everybody feels united. And listen, I know there's a lot of stuff going on right now that makes us not stoked on America. But despite all of that, I am still grateful that I was born in America and that I live here and that I have the opportunity. And whether or not you agree with that, that's totally fine. I totally understand the other side as well. I do think we still need to be grateful for the opportunity. But again, I totally understand a lot happening. I'm not really going to get into it. I don't want to get political, but whether you agree or disagree with what's happening, certainly one thing it's pointing to is there are certainly some systemic issues that I think we all need to come together and agree on. The irony is that we all want the same things. And so if we could all just come together and agree on some things, stop fighting amongst ourselves, things might actually go the way we want. But I understand how hard that is. There's like, 350 million people in this country. So it's hard to get that many people to agree. But anyway, happy Independence Day. Hope everyone is safe. Please be safe. Obviously, with everybody having the day off, that's more traffic, that's more margin for error. So please just be safe. Use good judgment. I don't really have a lot to talk about today. This one's short and sweet. Honestly, really just wanted to say I'm finally not dying from this sinus infection. Man, I don't know if there's another virus out there, sans COVID probably, where the symptoms last so long. Like I'm still waking up. I have a lingering cough, sinuses are still a little congested. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. But man, last week I was down for sure. So it was nice this week to come back, be very productive, had some really, really great podcast episodes, had some really, really great guests. One thing that that's really starting to be apparent when it comes to growing my network via the podcast is as time goes on, I'm able to add more and more value to my guests, meaning whether that's connecting them with someone or the podcast is an opportunity for them to get their name out there, as well as I continue forward and learn more and understand more of the things that I need, the guests are also able to do the same for me. And it's so incredible to have this opportunity to learn. And I'm definitely still in a bit of a taking phase. And what I mean by that is, in this process, I'm definitely taking a little bit more than I'm giving, which I don't typically like. I'm very much a proponent for giving more than you take. But when you're having experts on who are ahead of you in terms of your business For instance, I had a guest on who has a VA staffing company specifically for real estate professionals. Honestly, I was talking to my VA about doing that. My VA mentors VAs. I think I've mentioned it before. And it was awesome to pick his brain and get an idea of what it looks like to set that up, and the work that he's put in, far more than I even realized. But it is so fascinating to see these opportunities and different things that are happening and meet people who have already capitalized on these opportunities. And not to say that I can't also capitalize on them as well, right? It's just so amazing. And even when I have the same idea as someone else, they're still willing to help. They're still willing to give whatever guidance they can. And man, it's so awesome. And I'm so grateful. My guests have been absolutely amazing. I'm actually booked out, so had to open up some more time because I'm so booked out. So shout out to my amazing VA, Rose, who has been incredible in booking amazing guests. And we've had to open up a little bit more times, some more time slots, and so that we can accommodate more guests. So when we reach out to people, they can actually schedule a time that's, not crazy far out. So it's been amazing. It's been a heck of a journey. Obviously another thing we're all paying attention to, and I know this is completely random from what I was just talking about, but rising interest rates. One thing I want to talk about really quick, I'm not an economist, not an expert on this, but one thing I do want to mention as I wrap up here is commercial real estate and residential real estate are not related. They're symbiotic in the sense that when it's hard for people to buy houses, they become renters, which of course affects commercial real estate, especially on the apartment side. Well, it really affects it all the way through, right? Apartments, that bleeds into self-storage. More renters are going to equal the need for more self-storage, which of course, I love. So they're related in that sense. And there's a few other variables that kind of relate them. But in the sense of interest rates and the way that debt works, it's very different when you're buying your main residential residence, when you go to a bank, maybe local credit union, whatever your lender is. It's very different than when you're taking on structuring debt for a commercial property. So don't get too invested in, what the Wall Street Journal is saying about interest rates and the economy and how it's affecting real estate and pretty much all of the mainstream media. Do not get caught up in that, because that's not a reflection. There's a ton of hype. They're trying to invoke emotion. That's what sells. These headlines are all about, getting you emotional, because that's what's going to get you to share it and read it, right? So take it with a massive shaker of salt, and remember that it's not exactly what's happening, right? Just like with COVID and with pretty much everything, they construe a lot of things. So just be careful when it comes to those headlines and really reading too deep into it, especially thinking that residential real estate is an indicator of what's happening with commercial real estate, because I promise you it's not. They're very separate. One place you can go to learn about commercial real estate, what's happening, and it's my favorite, is Marcus and Millichap's. It's all free. They do constant studies, videos, blogs, different things with economists. They have economists on staff, tons of analysts, and a really great free resource to really get an idea of what's happening in the commercial real estate landscape. Everyone you talk to, obviously, if you've been listening to the show, still very bullish on commercial real estate. Certainly, some people are slowing down. You can see prices slowing down. Asset prices are certainly beginning to plateau. I think rent is still is still rising, but that has to give somewhere, of course, because on the other side of that is a tenant, and wages are only rising so fast and to a certain point as well. So definitely something to keep an eye on. But again, everyone is still very bullish. I was listening to, well, I wasn't listening. Grant Cardone posted this little clip recently. If you follow Grant, and he said, and I've been saying this on the podcast, my guests have been saying this, in the next 12 to 18 months is going to be one of the best opportunities we've had in commercial real estate. Grant Cardone says in 100 years, and he obviously knows better than I do. The reason he's saying that is because essentially what's happened is you have so many operators that got into the game and have really enjoyed the market, right? The market has really been the catalyst for their success, as opposed to them implementing their business strategy. And it's not to take away from anyone, right? Not to say that these aren't people with the best intentions. But when the market's acting a certain way and you want to get into the game and you're new, you may not be making the best decisions when it comes to your debt, for instance. I think that's going to be the biggest thing, right? Is you're going to have over leverage somewhere. And with these adjustable rate mortgages and interest rates on the rise, you're going to have people who, even with buying a rate cap, cannot sustain the increased interest rate that they're going to take on with some of these assets. And you're going to see them having to get out in a distressed scenario. And it's going to be a really, really great opportunity for those operators who are a little bit more seasoned, or perhaps are kind of biding their time right now and are waiting to capitalize on these moments. So something to keep an eye on. Thank you guys so much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, review the podcast. Check us out on YouTube, Instagram, everything. Again, happy Independence Day. Please be safe out there, you guys. Thanks so much for listening. Have a good one. See ya.
Hey guys, thank you so much for watching today's episode. I hope you really enjoyed it. Listen, I know it's cliche and you hear it all the time, but please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you know when the next video is coming out. Even though this is technically a daily podcast, you know it's coming out the next day. We have a ton of content coming your way. So please like and subscribe. It helps a ton. Leave comments. We'd love to know what you guys think. And we will see you on the next one. Thanks so much.